Okay, so night patrol vlog or whatever, episode 2 or part 2. I wanted to stop it while the dog was there. So it's like 4 in the morning. The reason there's so much traffic is because of the fair. Like it's nuts around here. The fair is like that glow over there. That's the fair. People die at the fair. When we last left off, I was kind of talking about doing LSD and spiritualism in Dakota. You know, her politics greatly influenced me. It didn't make me a commie, but I understand some of them better now. And I find her an admirable human being. I think she's very, very naive. I like the glow of the fair. But like, that's, you know, the reason that our relationship worked was because I thought she was naive and I loved her. And I let her win a lot of political arguments. And, you know, she probably let me win a lot of them too. Because it was kind of a give and take kind of a thing. But it's like, it's a beautiful thing if you can get it. I honestly don't think I would ever want to date a Republican again. I know that sounds bad or whatever, but like, the sex was amazing. You know, you have a fight about Glenn Beck until, you know, somebody gets agitated. just have, you know, hate fucking all night. That never happened. We never argued about Glenn Beck. I didn't dare bring up Glenn Beck. The best part was, I don't think she ever got that, when we met, I was like the opposite of her politically. I kind of didn't let her know that too quick. I let her get to know me before I let it slip that I might be a little bit more Republican-y than her. Yeah, it's pretty easy to say that you're like a libertarian, you know, constitutionalist. That, you know, which I am. I'm also, you know, a realist. And a realist means that you're going to have to side with somebody. And the Republicans are the least crazy people right now. That doesn't make them good. And honestly, the fact that like Dakota and I could chill for the better part of a year and a half, I think there's hope for the world. We need everybody to fuck everybody, but you know, because like half of my thing is Dakota, had she met me in 2015, would never have dated me, but yet I was the same person. And she would have still fallen in love had we dated. And that's one of those, it's a weird thing, you know? When you want to date lesbian women, sometimes you gotta go for it, I guess. I guess that's what I would tell most people. I really wish I had come out as trans in high school. But I'll go show you where I went to high school and you'll see why I didn't. Let's see. Today's Sunday. So yeah, that'd be a good day to go by there. We might do that. Don't want to go by there while they're open. The thing that I think is funny about my car, I was talking about that earlier, like the other cars that I was looking at when I bought that thing were $14,000. So I cheaped out on that because basically, like, that car is probably an $8,000 car, $6,000 car if you put the bumper back on it and like clean it up a little bit. None of that shit matters to me. It matters a great deal to everybody else because you need to have a good looking car. Most annoying shit in the world. Like, don't get me wrong, I like shit to look nice or whatever, but I like to have a cool car. And as such, I don't really care about the exterior of it that much. And that's just me, I'm weird. I care more about the model of car and the color of the car than I care about, like, you know, some things. Like, my thing with that minivan is that front bumper cover, I would have pulled that thing off and thrown it away anyway, so I don't see any reason to put it back on. I don't know. I'm a weirdo. It's my shaggin' wagon for hopefully doing mushrooms and LSD and tripping balls in the woods and the end of the world. That's what I would advise, you know, some of you to do, not all of you. If you have the money to, you know, put together a vehicle and go be a hermit somewhere in the West and just do mushrooms, like, why wouldn't you do that? Just saying. And this is kind of in a nutshell why I made that black powder revolver. Is I'm eventually gonna go do some of that shit, and I'm probably not gonna pack too many guns, and the main one's probably gonna be that thing. The other one might actually be the Rhodesian Gambler. I do like this thing. A lot of people question my use of flap holsters. Flap holsters are cool because they protect your gun. And they make you look like Indiana Jones. They are not fast. That gun doesn't even have a round chambered in it. It just has loaded mags. That's one of those, like, I'm pretty confident that I'm not gonna need that. There's, you know, there's a lot to be said about drugs and whatever. I would tell you to enjoy them in moderation for the most part. And I wouldn't do uppers at all, basically. I don't see a reason to. I wouldn't do hard drugs at all, really. Like, here's my thing is, if you, like, are in a severe amount of pain, a pain pill makes sense, right? So downers can make sense. Uppers, to me, I'm already up all the time. Like, it doesn't, shit doesn't even faze me, to be honest. A lot of people would be surprised about that, but, you know, I had ADHD in school, and they fed me Adderall at like 40 milligrams for the better part of 12 years. So that's some of what's wrong with me. And some of what was wrong with Dakota, too. And I think this is kind of what we've done in a nutshell is when you have problematic kids, you feed them the super smart drugs, so that way at least they're super smart problematic kids, and they have a higher chance of not being in prison and instead being, you know, a, you know, cutthroat businesswoman or whatever the fuck. That's really, I think, like the gamble that they're playing at, like, a sociological level with our society. Like, this is part of my thing, is I went to school for anthropology and shit, and I took a sociology class. I did really well at it. It's a stupid science. You shouldn't listen to any of those fucking people. Anthropologists are kind of cool because they legitimately just go out and study people, and they kind of do it from like this, like, British Western, what's it called? Intellectual viewpoint that sucks. And the thing that I liked about the anthropologist that I hung out with the most, which is Dr. Meadows, is he wasn't like that at all. He and I got along great because he was a, you know, military history kind of guy, and his books were all about Kiowa, Apache, and Comanche military societies, and Navajo and Comanche code talkers. And those were some of my areas of interest already. I had read some of his books already, believe it or not, when I met him. I handed him a well-read copy of his Kiowa, Apache, Comanche military societies. And I said, I'm your best student. And when he looked at the copy, he's like, Jesus, I'd say so. I don't have you in any of my classes. Where'd you get this book? You know, I bought it in high school. Like, I was interested in military history and military societies and all that kind of shit. I didn't go to that school because of him. I didn't realize that that was one of my professors until they told us to go buy that book, and I said, I have that book. And I brought it to him to get it signed. I lost that copy. I lost that copy in the relationship to the Chinese spy. I lent it to her for her class, and I never got that bitch back. I have a new copy in there. Still pisses me off that my original's gone. I joke calling her a Chinese spy. I don't know for a fact that she was or wasn't a Chinese spy. I dated a chick in college named April, who, she was the daughter of a Chinese senator, and she had a taste in cars that was like on the absurd. Like, half of the reason that she dated me for as long as we did was because she liked the car I was driving, because in China that car would have been like, you know, no one would have had it. It was a TRD special edition FJ Cruiser or whatever. She didn't realize that in America that was not a very expensive car, I guess. But yeah, at that time I was also I was actually living with my mom in college, and it was my great-grandma, my grandma, my mom, and I all living in a big house in Springfield, Missouri, that eventually I'll go show you the house that we all lived in. But anywho, I got distracted about that. But that was it was a very nice house that I brought her to dinner with my family and shit, and let's just say that Ray Ray did not appear to be from the trailer park in North Tulsa that she really is. I cleaned up pretty well. You know, part of my dual life really is that I went to private schools that were very high end and whatever, and at the same time I lived in the ghetto. I hung out with, you know, the neighbor kids. It was like being a different person every day. Go watch, fuck is that movie called? Jack Nicholson, crime drama, Martin Scorsese, mid-2000s, The Departed. Go watch The Departed, basically. It's an interesting look at that. It's kind of what that kid is, and was. Like, it lends itself to doing various things. To be honest, I hate being that. I hate living a double life. Like, it's one of the things I'm really glad I don't have to do anymore now that I'm out as trans. Like, I was leading like a triple or quintuple life at some points of my life. It was like on one level was this creation that I had made to hide all of my shit. At another level, I was me. And then there were a couple levels in between there where like Blazer got damn near to me. But like not very many people do that, right? Those are friends. You know? And like, I know this is like some crazy shit or whatever, but like this is what happens when you know, have to live a double life because of who you are. And then have to live a triple or quadruple life because of who your family is and where you go to school and whatever. And then like, it gets fucking insane. Honestly, I just wanted to disappear. Half the reason I did disappear for a while, I walked off the face of fucking earth, was that. Well, the dog is starting to bark again. I think I am going to go back inside now. It's been 17 minutes of this. I'll see you guys later. Night.